Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Saturday, November 27, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Miami Heat vs Chicago Bulls. Against Minnesota, the Heat couldn't get out of their own way or knock down shots when it mattered. Adebayo led Miami with, and Duncan Robinson added 17 points. Former Timberwolf Jimmy Butler, booed all night by his former fans, struggled on his way to a quiet 16-point night. Tyler Herro, 6th Man of the Year candidate, scored 16 points but did so on 5-for-18 shooting. Robinson also had his struggles from the field, with the 3PT marksman only shooting 5-for-15 from 3PT distance. Our first betting advice is to pick Chicago Bulls, plus 1.5. The Houston Rockets sure did pick a weird time to get hot. The celebration was full-blown in the aftermath of their 118-113 victory over the Bulls in a game where they went 17 of 36 from three-pointer. That game following Chicago's 32-point blowout loss to the Indiana Pacers was a bad look. It was bad enough for them to take out their frustrations on the Orlando Magic. Our second betting advice is to pick over 212. Washington Wizards vs Dallas Mavericks. The Wiz are going through a rough patch after starting the season on a feverish note. They have lost 4 of their last 5 games and have looked a step slow on the defensive end. The Wizards have struggled with turnovers, with 17 or more in each of the last 4 contests. It remains to be seen just how good this Washington team is, but if they can harness their intensity from the first 2 weeks, they will remain competitive in most games. Our first betting advice is to pick the Mavericks at -7.5. The Dallas Mavericks suffered 3 consecutive defeats in their 4-game road trip before they secured an overtime 112-104 win over the Los Angeles Clippers. Dallas covered a plus 2.5 spread, and it was the 5th time in 6 games they managed to cover. The Mavs have an 8-9 Austrian shillings record right now. Kristaps Porzingis led the Mavericks with 30 points and 7 rebounds. Luka Doncic followed him with 26 points, team-high 9 boards, and game-high 9 assists. Dorian Finney-Smith scored 17, while Tim Hardaway had 13 points and 5 rebounds. Jalen Brunson left the game against the Clippers with a left foot injury and is listed as questionable for Saturday's tilt against the Wizards. Frank Ntilikina, calf, is questionable to play on Saturday. Our second betting advice is to pick under. Quick reminder, BetUS is a platform that offers betting on all major sport and horse racing leagues. It has slots, table games, blackjack, and a variety of other casino games. All of the major US leagues are available for betting, including the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and PGA. In addition, BetUS allows wagers on esports, Olympic events, soccer, cricket, boxing, cycling, and many more competitions. Join BetUS now using our link down below and get 125% cashback bonus on your first deposit on the sportsbook after you open an account and deposit using our link and use our promo code HIGHSTAKES. New Orleans Pelicans vs Utah Jazz. The Pelicans have endured a terrible season so far. They have recovered a touch, moving from 3-16 to 5-16 with 2 straight wins, including a 98-97 win in their previous game against the Utah Jazz. The Jazz have been in decent form this season, as you would expect from this Utah team. The Jazz are now 12-7 for the season after losing their previous game to the Pelicans in thrilling fashion. Our first betting advice is to pick the Jazz at -13. The Jazz have the second best defense in the NBA, that is scoring 112.3 points per game, and are among the top 5 teams in field goal, 46.7%, and rebounds, 47.2. When it comes to the defense, Utah has the 5th best D that is letting 103.4 points per night, while the Jazz have the 5th best perimeter D, 32.3%, and they are allowing 41.7 boards to the opponents, 2nd. The New Orleans Pelicans displayed their best defensive performance of the season as they scored 127 points in a 127-102 home win over the Washington Wizards. The Pels avoided the third consecutive loss and covered a plus 3.5 spread, which was the only second time in 6 games they managed to cover. New Orleans now has an 8-12 Austrian shillings record. The Pelicans were better in assists, 33-23, and steals, 13-5, while they committed just 11 turnovers opposite to Washington's 19. Brandon Ingram led the Pels with 26 points and 5 rebounds. Jonas Valanciunas recorded a double-double of 21 points and game-high 11 boards, along with 4 assists. Josh Hart had 16 points, 7 rebounds, 4 dishes, and 2 steals, while Willy Hernangomez posted 13 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. Zion Williamson is still out with a foot injury, while the NBA has suspended Didi Louzada for 25 games without pay for violating the NBA-NBPA's anti-drug program, and he is not going to play on Saturday. Our second betting advice is to pick under 217. Charlotte Hornets vs Houston Rockets. Miles Bridges is averaging 20.3 points per game and 7.5 rebounds per game in what is his 4th season in the NBA. Also, his dunks are usually spectacular. He is one of the players that leads the offense, along with Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward, but from the bench comes Kelly Oubre contributing points immediately. The team averages 111.9 points per game to be 4th best in the NBA and 36.4% in three-pointers to be 5th best in the league. Our first betting advice is to pick Charlotte Hornets, minus 5.5. The Rocket celebration went deep into the night after upsetting the Chicago Bulls in their return to the Toyota Center on Wednesday. Winning cures everything in sports, regardless of the time in between victories. The biggest question is whether the Rockets can keep winning. They'll have their work cut out for them when facing the visiting Hornets on Saturday night. Charlotte has a talented offense full of marksmen. There will be no coming back if the Rockets fall behind early in this game. So they'll need a stellar defensive effort to bring the Hornets' offense back down to earth. Make no mistake, an upset in this case will look extremely ugly. Charlotte Hornets with a 12-8 record visit the Toyota Center, home of the Houston Rockets who have a 2-16 record. The Hornets will be playing the second game of a back-to-back. Not counting yesterday's game, they have won 7 of their last 8 games, which makes it clear that they are going through a sweet moment. The offense averages 111.9 points per game to be the 4th best in the NBA. They average 36.4% in three-pointers to be the 5th best in that category. The core formed by LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward is very dangerous on offense. Houston is coming off a win. We say it in an effusive way since they had a negative streak of 15 consecutive losses. The win came at home with a score of 118-113 over Chicago Bulls last Wednesday. They controlled the game from the beginning to the end. The bad news of that game was the injury of rookie Jalen Green, who left the game during the first half. A total of 8 players collected 10 or more points, including Green, who did it in less than 11 minutes of action. Our second betting advice is to pick over 217.